Oh, for Christ's sakes.
Hey, shut up and try to tell people what music they should listen to!
Got some people. Hey guys, Pat Keebler here for Would You Spend a Day with Tim Allen, WYSADWTA, coming at you again with another CD collection update. This is number 15, I believe, for, or the February CD collection, since this is more or less a monthly series now. And sorry I couldn't get this up to you guys earlier. The last CD I got didn't come in until a couple days ago, and I didn't want to do it until I actually, got the CD and listened to it. So, as you can tell by the thumbnail for this video, I got some Anti-Flag CDs here for you, which, they're a band that I actually really love, except most of their music is strictly political. Well, I guess I would say 99% of their music is strictly political, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just, I don't know, I kind of just, for me, it really limits songwriting and, I guess, the musical genericality, I think that's the word. But point is, it's kind of sounds like all one mesh of songs together, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just that, it's just that I think bands, like, no matter what bands, like whether you're a punk band, a metal band, no matter what, you should have some kind of variety in your songs or albums. So, anyway, that's a completely different subject. So anyway, let's get right into the CDs, which I have over here. So I'm going to be listing these off in chronological order, so I'm just going to be listing these when they came out. So I think I got these in the right order. Correct me if I'm wrong, but anyway. So anyway, first album I got for you is Die for Your Government, or Die for the Government. I always get it confused because I keep thinking it's Die for Your Government, because the second song on here, which is actually my favorite, one of the reasons it's titled like this, is You've Gotta Die for the Government. I keep thinking it's You Gotta Die for Your Government, but man, semantics, I guess. So this is actually a pretty decent album. This is their first album, as I just said. So their original lineup before Chris number 2 and Chris Head joined, it was originally Just Insane, Pathetic, and then I believe Andy Flag, which is one of the reasons the band is called Anti-Flag. And I think it was actually like that for a while, or at least for this album. The next album, I believe, was their new lineup with Chris 2 and Chris Head. But, oh, CDs almost fell. But yeah, they've had the same lineup, I believe, for roughly 18, 19 years. I could be wrong. Sorry, I had a little thing there. So yeah, this is their first album. Really good album, would definitely recommend. And as I said, favorite album, favorite album. Well, actually, so far, this would be probably my favorite album by Anti-Flag. I haven't really listened to too many more of their albums, except for maybe For Blood and Empire. But anyway, so favorite songs of this album is obviously You Gotta Die for the Government. Drink Draft Punk, that's actually a pretty good song too. Where was it? Oh yeah, and No More Dead, actually, and well, I guess the last song, I guess, is also pretty good, too. It's, Your Daddy Was a Rich Man, Your Daddy's Fucking Dead, which I believe is a song more or less about Donald Trump, I believe. Well, at least that's what the band, at least when I first saw Anti-Flag live, they were actually playing the entirety of this album, and their last song, which, yeah, Daddy Was a Rich Man, they were talking about what they were doing 20 years ago, and they read an article about a man who got a small loan of $1 million, which is, an indirect reference to Trump. So this could be essentially a song about Donald Trump. It could not be. That was just the vibe I got of it. I could be completely wrong, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's just what I'm going off of. But anyway, so really good album. let's see, what was this released on? Looks like it was released on CLP Records, I believe. It's kind of the little spine here is kind of a little bit hard to read. I mean, it says CLP 9554, but I'm pretty sure that just means it was CLP Records, or the numbers something. But anyway, all right. So second album, A New Kind of Army, which features their current lineup with Justin Sane, Pathetic, Chris Number 2, Chris Ed. I will say this: I'm not a huge fan of this album, because it kind of has more of a ska element. Well, quite a few songs are kind of ska-esque, which kind of turns me off to this album a little bit. But I'm not saying ska is a bad genre necessarily. I'm just saying I don't really prefer it. Lex and Bat, they're huge ska fans. Like, I'm pretty sure the only reason they want to go to the last Warped Tour this year is for Real Big Fish, actually. And hold on, the CD's getting a little messed up. But anyway, other than the songs that aren't necessarily ska, they're actually pretty cool. Like Captain Anarchy, that's probably one of my favorites. And then there's also wait, where was it? Oh yeah, No Difference. I was looking at Got the Numbers above it. And the Consumer Songs, which is kind of an acoustic ballad, except it uses an electric guitar as opposed to an acoustic guitar. I mean, it sounds like an acoustic ballad song, except with an electric guitar, which kind of annoys me a little bit. But again, it's probably taken as some kind of artist portrayal or something like that, or they just didn't have an acoustic guitar. But to each their own. And then the last song, which is This Is Not a Crass Song, which, guess what, spoiler alert, it kind of is. And that song is kind of a little bit confusing because for like the first 2 minutes, it's about, I think, a 6-minute song. The first 2 minutes is an actual song, and then it has like 3 or 4 minutes of silence. And then it just cuts to Justin saying, "Whoa, dude, check out this nasty riff," or something along that. I can't exactly remember it. So it pretty much just sounds like they were extremely stoned. I mean, they probably were, or at least one of them was. I don't really think they're a straight edge band. I'm pretty sure. Well, I definitely know a couple of them are like really heavy drinkers, but either way. So anyway, pretty good album. Not sure if I would or wouldn't recommend it, but I'll just leave that up to you guys. If you want to listen to it, be my guest. All right, and last album that I have for you guys is Underground Network, and this I actually believe was actually released on Fat Records. And what was the last one released on? This was New Kind of Army. Let's see, it was released on AF Records, or A through F Records, not sure really how you pronounce that, but either way. So, yeah, pretty good album. I mean, if it was released on Fat Records, it's got to be somewhat good. I mean, to me, anyway. So, let's see. Hold on. Okay, I thought there was something else in this CD that was cracked or something. But anyway, I'm not sure if I like or if I hate this album, so I'm gonna go ahead and say it's a good album, but again, if you listen to it, you might not agree with me. Honestly, I guess that just really goes with any album I like, really, but for me, I'm not really sure if I like or hate it. It has some good songs in it, like, I mean, Underground Network, obviously. That's another thing with Anti-Flag. A lot of their albums are kind of titled after one of the songs from the albums, which, again, artist rendition, whatever. But it does have a few good songs. Like, yeah, so again, Underground Network, Watch the Right, and then, what was the other one? The Panama Deception. I thought I said the Panama Destruction for some reason, but yeah, other than that, I say it's a good album. Again, you can take that however you want. So, Again, if you want to listen to it, go ahead. If you don't, then feel free to not, I guess. But anyway, so those are the CDs that I have for you guys this week. If you have any recommendations of bands or CDs that you think I should listen to, make sure you comment that down below. And make sure to like the video, and don't forget to subscribe. And once again, I'm Pat Keebler for WYSADWTA. Bye!